You are wasting your time, right now, reading this, scrolling, searching for the answer to a riddle that most people will never solve. Not because they are stupid, not because they lack education, but because solving it requires something most human beings have trained themselves to avoid: the truth. Here is the riddle. A man stands at a crossroads. One path leads to everything he has ever wanted: success, love, respect. The other path leads to nothing: emptiness, failure, isolation. Both paths look identical. There are no signs, no guides, no way to tell which is which. The man must choose, but here is the twist. He has been standing at this crossroads his entire life. He has walked down both paths 1,000 times. And every single time, he ends up back at the same place. Confused, exhausted, wondering why nothing ever changes. The riddle is not about which path to choose. The riddle is this: why does the man keep returning to the crossroads? Most people read that and think they understand. They think the answer is obvious: fear, indecision, bad luck. They are wrong. The answer is not logical, it is psychological. And the reason only 1% of people can solve it is because the answer forces you to confront something you have been running from your entire life: yourself. The man keeps returning to the crossroads because he does not see the crossroads. He sees the paths. He sees the outcomes. He sees the future. But he never looks down. He never looks at where he is standing. And that is the trap. The crossroads is not a place, it is a state of mind. The man is not stuck because of the world around him. He is stuck because of the world inside him. You see this everywhere. People who say they want to be rich but never start the business. People who say they want love but sabotage every relationship. People who say they want freedom but build their own cages out of distraction and comfort. They are not lying, they genuinely believe they want these things. But wanting is not the same as choosing, and choosing is not the same as becoming. The riddle reveals a truth that most people cannot accept. You are not the victim of your circumstances. You are the author of them. Every failure, every setback, every moment of pain. You wrote it, not consciously, not intentionally. But you wrote it because deep down in the parts of yourself you refuse to examine, you believe you deserve it. This is where people shut down. This is where they close the tab. This is where they say the riddle is pretentious or pseudo-intellectual or meaningless, because the alternative is too painful. The alternative is admitting that the life you hate is the life you chose, that the person you have become is the person you decided to be, that the crossroads is not outside of you, it is you. Psychologists call this cognitive dissonance, the gap between who you think you are and who you actually are. Most people live in this gap their entire lives. They tell themselves stories. I am unlucky. I am misunderstood. I am a victim of the system. These stories protect the ego. They make the pain tolerable, but they also make change impossible. Because if you are not responsible for your suffering, you are not responsible for your healing. And if you are not responsible for your healing, you will never heal. The man at the crossroads keeps returning because he refuses to take responsibility. He blames the paths. He blames the lack of signs. He blames the universe for not giving him clarity. But clarity was never the problem. The problem is that clarity requires honesty, and honesty requires looking at the parts of yourself you have spent your entire life hiding. This is not motivation. This is not some feel-good message about believing in yourself. This is the opposite. This is about destroying the lies you tell yourself. This is about burning down the false identity you have built and standing naked in the ashes. Only then can you see the crossroads for what it really is: a mirror. The 1% who solve the riddle are not smarter. They are not more talented. They are not luckier. They simply stopped running. They stopped blaming. They stopped pretending. They looked at the mirror and said the hardest sentence a human being can say: I did this to myself, and because I did this to myself, I can undo it. That realization is both liberating and terrifying. Liberating because it means you are not powerless. Terrifying because it means you are fully responsible. There is no one coming to save you. There is no perfect moment. There is no secret strategy. There is only you. And the question is not which path to take. The question is whether you are willing to stop returning to the crossroads. Most people are not. Most people will read this and nod and feel something shift inside them for about 30 seconds. Then they will scroll to the next video, the next article, the next distraction, because the riddle is not something you solve with your mind, it is something you solve with your life. And solving it requires sacrifice. It requires giving up the comfort of victimhood. It requires abandoning the safety of blame. It requires becoming the kind of person who no longer needs a crossroads because they are no longer confused about who they are. The paths were never the problem. The crossroads was never the problem. You are the problem, and you are the solution. The man keeps returning because he has not yet accepted that he is both the prisoner and the key, both the question and the answer, both the maze and the exit. This is why the riddle breaks people, because it is not a riddle at all, it is a diagnosis. And most people would rather live sick than face the cure. They would rather stay lost than admit they know the way. They would rather keep walking in circles than take the step that changes everything. But you are still here. You are still reading, which means some part of you is different. Some part of you knows the riddle is not about the man at the crossroads. It is about you, and the crossroads you keep returning to. The one you have been standing at for years, decades, your entire life. So here is the real question. Are you going to keep pretending you do not know the answer? Or are you going to stop lying, stop running, stop returning, and finally walk forward? The 1% do not solve the riddle because they are special. They solve it because they are willing to be honest. And honesty is the rarest resource on earth. Rarer than talent, rarer than intelligence, rarer than luck. Because honesty means looking at yourself without flinching, without making excuses, without softening the blow. The man stands at the crossroads, but the crossroads is not real. The paths are not real. The only thing that is real is the choice to stop standing, to stop waiting, to stop blaming, and to finally move. That is the riddle. That is the answer. That is the 1%. Claude is AI and can make mistakes. Please double-check responses.